OMT Online Dynasty, we are back. We have made it through the postseason, off season. Now we are just about ready to hop into week 0. Now, I do not have a game in week 0, so you may be wondering, what the heck are we doing here? Well, I have got some news for you. This year, every single week, we are going to get my game, if I happen to have one that week, plus a highlight game from different teams here in the Dynasty. People that stream, I'll record their stream, do the commentary, kind of like what we did with Conference Championship Week. In Week 0, we have only got 2 user versus user matchups, and both feature one of the teams we already saw in Conference Championship Week, so we got to pick between one of those. We are going to go with Delaware, our American Conference foe, and Utah State, the reigning Mountain West champions, who did get to the semifinals in the playoffs before dropping to SMU in their incredibly annoying offense. And of course, the teams are going to look very different than what we saw last year. That's kind of why we're doing this little intro. We are going to go over each team. I'm doing this in the preseason because they are going to be playing very shortly after we advance tonight, and I just don't think we're going to have time to really go over their depth charts before they kick off. What I would like to do for these is kind of record live commentary as we're watching the game. If we can't do that, I'll just record the game or get the VOD from them, and I won't know who wins, I won't know who loses, I won't know any of that, and we'll just kind of treat it like we're watching it live. So first, let's go take a look at the depth chart for Utah State. Of course, this is all subject to change before we actually head into the game, but all the training and everything has been done. These are the final stats for these guys, so we should have a pretty good idea of who's going to be out there on the field. And Utah State, after their deep playoff run and use of the transfer portal, is up to a 76 overall, 74 offense, 79 defense. They're looking pretty dang good, led by freshman quarterback Tanner Applewhite. 81 overall with step up, dot, and on time. He's no Bryson Barnes, but that's a pretty big shoes to fill for our guy Tanner here. Speaking of big shoes to fill, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, no longer at Utah State. They will be relying on Daniel Hill, and this looks like a pretty dang good replacement. 83 overall, 93 speed, shifty headfirst sidestep downhill armbar. This guy looks like a freak. I have a feeling we'll be calling his name out quite a bit throughout this game, especially just considering how much Boder, our coach of Utah State, likes to use his halfback. So definitely somebody to keep an eye on here, Daniel Hill. And even if he gets tired, we have Antoine Roberts behind him. No abilities, but 80 overall, 91 speed. Perfectly serviceable as a backup. But this Daniel Hill looks like an absolute monster. I believe he was a transfer from Alabama, I want to say. Wide receiver. I mean, I don't know how this is a 74 overall offense. The offensive line must be terrible or something. We got 85 overall, 93 speed, Jordan Faison, 360 cutter recoup sidestep. Corey Thompson Jr., who I believe was on the team last year, if memory serves me correctly, and was pretty dang good for him in the bowl games and the conference title games. 83 overall, 92 speed on this speedster. Shatron, I'm pretty sure was a transfer, I don't know from where, but double dip, gold takeoff, shifty, 95 speed, 6'2". Yeah, I'm watching the Cubs playoff game right now, and some of these commercials are just insane. So this is the main guy I'm going to be keeping our eye on. We know he likes Thompson, but I believe 2 new receivers here with Faison and Shetron. It's got to be how you pronounce it right. That gold takeoff and 95 speed. Gotta be concerned wherever that guy is on the field. Now, tight end, not great. Our first real big weakness we see on this Utah State team. I don't remember if he uses his tight end a whole heck of a lot. We'll see. And obviously with it being week 0, we have no stats or anything to go on like we were on the conference title game. We were able to get kind of an idea of how these guys like to play. We know Utah State's more of an air raid guy. He is in the USC offense. Again, subject to change, but last I checked, that is the playbook he is in. And I don't know if he's going to be utilizing his tight end a whole heck of a lot. Let's see his offensive line. A very solid left guard. Oh my goodness, what? Excuse me? A 95 overall center? Okay. So, if we're looking at his depth chart and trying to put our brains into Delaware, saying, all right, how are we going to defend this team? Runs to the left. That's what we're looking out for with that center and left guard combo. If we're blitzing a linebacker, it's going to be whoever is kind of in that gap, because we got to send extra guys. We got to send help between those two guys on defense. Now, speaking of defense, Utah State's will go over very quickly. This guy caught my attention. Quintavious Johnson, only an 81 overall. But to be at right edge with 89 speed as a sophomore, this guy is going to be a problem. Another thing about Utah State's defense that I like a lot and am jealous of and would love to have are their linebackers. Not so much Hamblin. He's still fine. 81 speed with those abilities kind of helps make up for a lot. But Mike linebacker, only 61 overall, 89 speed with Robber. Will linebacker, 90 speed with Robber. And I did notice his defensive playbook now is also multiple 4-3 or 4-3 multiple. I know he likes 6-1 as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see some 6-1 out of the Utah State Aggies in this game here today. Corners, slow, but if you're going to be slow, at least have a gold ball hawk and at least be 6'1". We like that on his corner one. At least Fisk, 86 speed, but ball hawk. Ball hawk makes up for a lot, but boy, are those are some not great corners that Utah State's got. I think Delaware's got to try to push the ball vertical, push it downfield. That's where they got a big advantage, it looks like, as of right now. We haven't seen Delaware's wide receivers, but just keep in mind how slow the secondary is of Utah State. They do have a very good free safety here with Kamari Ramsey. Knockout aftershock blowup, I believe another transfer. I mean, almost every team, like Old Dominion, for example, I think we have 20 new starters that are pretty much all from the transfer portal. I think we're going to see that pretty often. But then pretty weak at strong safety here too. So Utah State, solid enough defensive line. Love their speed at linebacker, but a pretty weak secondary. So I think it's somebody you can try to push vertically and try to attack downfield. We'll see how Delaware wants to play it. And Delaware on defense, you got to worry about those runs going to the left. That's right where my mind goes. And the speed they have at wide receiver. So you can still blitz linebackers, but I would definitely not be any shaded underneath man, for example. Any man coverage, I probably would not call against Utah State just because your secondary is not going to be able to keep up with the wide receiver speed that they have. But let's go check out the Delaware depth chart and see what our guy Caleb is working with. At quarterback, we're going to have redshirt sophomore Luke Duncan step up on time, 81 overall, only 71 speed, so we don't really have to worry about that QB rolling out. You're much more comfortable on defense running some stunts. You don't have to worry about contains, anything like that. 6'6", 211 is nice, but that speed on a quarterback, as I couldn't do it. We'll see how he does it. And he's in the Notre Dame playbook. Again, last I checked, subject to change. But I think that playbook works a lot better with a faster quarterback. So we will see kind of what he wants to go to. I know he likes the bunch strong offset, just like we do. Loves dagger, likes a lot of the standard stuff out of bunch strong offset. A lot of good stuff out of the Notre Dame playbook, which is still one of my top 2, maybe top 3 favorite playbooks right now. It's them, Ohio State, and Michigan. Halfback, which Michigan, by the way, is going to be our new playbook. Spoiler alert for, well, our first game's against the computer NIU. But then other than that, we have 11 user games this season again, which I like. I'd prefer that. Halfback, very good here with Rashad Simmons. 82 overall, 92 speed, shifty, and sidestep. So we can see just from this one offseason, the skill positions have gotten a lot better. Overall wise, I want to say Delaware was a 67. I think we were the lowest at 64, and I think they were right behind. They were just, I guess, ahead of us at a 67. Wide receiver, though, a very good one here with Amankwa. Only 74 overall, but 92 speed, 6 foot tall. Behind him, at least we got some abilities here on this Donovan Lewis. Again, not the fastest guys in the world, but he doesn't have the fastest corners either. So somebody like Amankwa and even Lewis, you have potential to burn just considering how slow Utah State secondary is. Tight end, Jake Bradell, 6'5", balanced and recoup, not the best abilities, but fine. 77 speed, not the fastest, but more than enough to get the job done in a playbook like Notre Dame's. Offensive line, we got a pocket shield, PA shield on our left tackle, decent enough left guard, really nothing at center, strong grip on right guard. So there's not really one side that's going to favor the other too much on their offensive line. Defensively, there's not a ton for us to look at. This Keon Wright could be a problem with Pocket Disruptor, Workhorse, and Hammer. You'd want to set this up so he is on, say, Utah State's on offense. You would want Keon Wright to be on the right side of the field, right edge, which I actually think is opposite. Because then if we're looking at the defense from Delaware's point of view, the right edge would be over the left tackle of the offensive line. But still, neither tackle was great for Utah State. So this guy could still definitely wreak some havoc here for the Blue Hens. Defensive tackles, we do have a grip breaker Hammer here with Trey Scott. So I do like the abilities we've got on this defensive line of Delaware. Sam linebackers, see, this is kind of how ours Ours is a little bit faster, but linebackers are tough to get. Secondary, I mean, pretty good speed kind of across the board. Going against Utah State, I'd be tempted to put, I mean, I'd probably be playing this guy anyway. 6'2", 90 speed. He does have a normal dev trait. So does everybody except Ali. So you do want to keep him in, especially with him being a sophomore. He could turn into a stud. But you got to find somewhere to put your 6'2", 90 speed guy here, especially against the Aggies and how much speed they're going to have on offense. Free safety. You got your choices here. Blow up and workhorse. I'd probably have him down and be a sub linebacker. And then you have Manning Jr. starting up top with his 90 speed. He's a little short, but still. And then having this guy should help out with some of the run stuff too, with him having silver blow up. Strong safety. Not a great scene here, but at least we got a knockout on Adebayo. So better than nothing. But that is the depth charts here for our first game of the week. Delaware, Utah State. Where is this game being played at? I have it all written down over here somewhere. Here we go. It is going to be at Delaware. Should be a fun way to kick off our season here. That's enough for me. I'm going to get my face out of here. We're just going to cut straight to the gameplay. Delaware, Utah State, Caleb versus Boder. Let's see what you got, boys. And here we are in beautiful Delaware. I don't remember what city it is in, but starting off our season, the Utah State Aggies. Again, totally new look for both of these squads. It'll be interesting to see how these guys play out, how these teams look. We certainly like the looks of that Utah State offense, but we'll see how it looks on the field. It looks like they will be starting with the ball here. We are going to be watching this game from Utah State's perspective, get an idea of how they are using that USC offensive playbook. Coming out in some tray open offset here are the Aggies. Let's see what Delaware is going to try to answer with on the defensive side of things. A little bit of lag going on there, but that's okay. Looks like they might still be in the 3-3-5. Got to be looking corner out to A. The stadium pulse of Delaware rocking. Absolutely rocking. Utah State takes the quick little check down there. Gets a nice little gain. That's Faison, the wide receiver 1 for Utah State, taking that one for a gain of 6. Coming out in some empty chips now. So we got a little delay routes here on A and Y. He's stemming up that B route. Is that where he's looking? It certainly should be. Always got the deep guy back there. That deep safety, the deep middle third, it looked like must have been a cover 3 there. Did a great job. It was, yeah, Will Sam 3. Did a great job getting back. It sure looked like he was going to have that post. Then the user of Delaware did a great job getting back to the middle of the field. Utah State kind of has to check down a little bit. Now we're looking for something similar here on the other side. We're having some technical difficulties. Blitz comes in hot in the SWAT team of Delaware. Oh, no. Throws it right at him. Defender says, you know what? No, I'm not even going to catch it. I am just going to swat this sucker down into the dirt. We don't even want it. So definitely is the 3-3-5 still here from Delaware. A little RPO. Getting it to Hill, who, Daniel Hill, we're expecting to be a pretty big focus of the day here for Utah State as this game goes along. Guy is a stud. Guy's an absolute stud. Utah State coming back up to the line. A little spread here. It looks like Y cross. I mean, Faison's got to be there on the left. Sure is. Caught his user over there too. That's just going to be really, really hard to defend unless you happen to have, you know, you're in a Tampa 2, or you have a hard flat on your outside corner. A speed out from somebody like Faison is just going to get that sideline faster than anybody you got. What I am... Oh, that's a dicey one. Oh. Goes for the seam on the right. New quarterback Applewhite kind of leads it behind him almost straight to the safety of Delaware. Gets his receiver absolutely popped going out that way. Now let's see what Utah State's saying. That same formation, a little swing pass out to the right. Got good blocking from his boys out there. Great blocking from the boys out there. That's how you win a Heisman. That's how you win a Heisman, with your halfback there. That counts as a catch, counts as 20 yards. Seems like this game loves receiving backs specifically. Gets a good chunk of change there. Now going back to, was going to a mesh. I like that streak on RB. Oh, his user did a good job taking it away, but he's going to have X underneath, but the pressure gets to him. Like, so it wasn't really underneath. It was underneath the streak. It was at like the 2-yard line. But the pressure comes in from the Delaware. That is what I liked about the 3-3-5. This was the defensive playbook we were in for quite a bit last year. It does a really good job getting pressure when you send those linebackers. There goes that Hill again. Guy is an absolute menace to society back there. He is going to be a problem for the Mountain West all year long. But yeah, that 3-3-5. If you're blitzing one of those three linebackers, I usually like to blitz the middle one. Really good consistent pressure out of that. Now we're swinging out again, looking maybe for the corner out. Nope, goes back down to the swing. The backup halfback, Roberts, gets in on the action. Gets setting up the 1st and goal down to the 8-yard line. Only 2 minutes gone past here. Utah State utilizing that high tempo, high speed, high octane offense. What in the heck is this play? Is he going to have RB? No, user. Oh, my goodness. That hit him square in the face. Boing. Right off his face. I thought that might even have gotten stuck in his face mask. That's how square that hit him in the mouth. Not going to have the underneaths. Does eventually. Waits for it to clear on the left side. Faison making his presence felt early here for the Utah State Aggies. Was it 3 catches, I believe, on that first drive? Targeted him a few more times. Faison and Hill gonna be a problem in this Utah State offense. So let's see what Delaware is going to answer with. Like I said, I believe they're in Notre Dame and Utah State is in USC. That is what they were in earlier today. He is 100% in Notre Dame because they are the only ones with a regular gun cluster. And we thought Utah State might go to some 6-1. It looks like we are going to be coming out in regular 4-3 over here. With the speed he has at linebackers, you can 100% get away with some 4-3 over. I don't think we're quite there yet at Old Dominion, but I'm going to try to keep Old Dominion out of the conversation because it's honestly is not important. Nice little gain underneath there. Take your 6. Totally fine with that. You get something like Tampa 2, get underneath those hook zones. I like that. And we're staying in gun cluster. Now here comes the 6-1. Are we in Sam Will blitz? We are. Hard flat on the left on the halfback side. Makes sense. Hard flat on both sides. Okay, so we're only rushing 4. Man coverage, hard flats on each end. Over the middle, it's got to have somebody. His user does a good job getting back there. Nearly a D. I don't know what the heck happened there. Boaters puts in the Discord, how the heck did that ball pop out? That's a great question as we see that replay. Standing like a statue until he starts to get hit, but still manages to throw it away. That's just Luke Duncan, man. That's just what he brings to the table. That is what he does. Now some bunch strong offset. He daggers the first play I think about here for sure. We are getting some stunting from Utah State's defense. And it is coming through totally free. It was dagger. He had the deep crosser, but the stunt managed to actually get through and actually work that time. 4th and 15 now for Delaware. Let's see what they're going to do. Yeah, our offensive line for the Blue Hens not off to a great start here. Kind of back-to-back plays there. Let some 4-man rush get in. And they are going to have to punt it away. Try to play a little bit of defense. Yeah, you can't risk giving them the ball at the 20, especially on a 4th and 15. Understandable decision to punt there. Utah State taking over at Delaware's 48-yard line. Back in empty chips, back to this play that almost threw a pick on last time he called it. It hasn't really been there. That middle third. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, that middle third is getting back to that every time. I don't know if you have to try to stem it up. I think you need something to distract that middle third. I think that deep dig coming from the opposite side might just be a little too slow developing, so the third is actually staying with that deep post. But he really likes that bomb out of empty chips. I have to have something to keep in mind there. Also likes the little dump downs to Faison, which is completely understandable because that guy is a stud. Make sure your studs are getting the ball early and often, especially if you can get it to him in space. What we haven't seen from Utah State yet, and it wouldn't shock me to see at some point, is the double pass. If he ever goes to split slot offset, gotta watch the double pass. We are just going to verticals here. See, maybe he's looking for Faison yet again. He is going with a comeback over on B. Yep, there goes Faison right up the seam. Faison already 5 catches for 47 yards. 4 minutes into this game here. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. He's got 5 for 47. Going back to that swing out to the left. Let's see if Delaware is going to fly out that way. They are not. Gets the blocking yet again. This is how you win the Heisman with your halfback, huh? This is how it's done. Just throw it to him over and over again. Let him rack up the receptions. Let him rack up the receiving yards. And at the end of the year, hey, we got a Heisman. Utah State coming back to the line. We had an injury timeout there. Second best player on Delaware just got injured. I believe that's Say, the safety, number 7. There he is. Bruised ribs. Okay. All things considered, that could be worse. But on the other hand, that is a touchdown for Utah State. And was that? No, Faison got the first one. Yeah, Faison got the first one. Hill gets the second one. The 2 big impact players for Utah State showing up here in the first quarter. A little Y trips offset for Delaware, mixing up their formations here a little bit. Cover 4 match call. Don't throw that. Oh, man. I mean, to be fair, Utah State has gotten away with a couple here as well, but that one, that was a dicey one. Delaware says, I saw you run by. Interesting, interesting. Now some wing tight Z, some 3 tight end set from Delaware, going with a run up the gut. We did see Delaware does have a very good halfback there, Simmons from Wake Forest, the transfer. Just so many transfers, just all over them on everybody's team here. That's just the way these are going to go, and that's A-okay with me. Whoa, that was an interesting, a little like slide RPO, but he tried, oh, RPO reach flat wheel. Yep, tried to hit that post. Sometimes the timing of that can be a little weird. I don't think that was the quarterback just missing that throw. I just think the timing of that can be a little funky. So now we're going to a cover 2, still in the 4-3. Tries to get this, can't even get the screen pass off. This is a defensive line of Utah State, and we looked at it. We know it's not that good of a defensive line. Yeah, it was a screen pass, but still, every time Delaware has had the ball, he's just been getting absolutely hollered at. And he's just having to send 4. We did hear reports of the recent patch has really buffed pass rush. So it's going to be a lot easier to potentially get away with only having to send 4. Now he's motioning out the halfback. Interesting when your line has been struggling so mightily, but he's got him deep over the middle. He runs into his own tight end, but manages to hold on to the ball. That would have been absolutely devastating if Simmons dropped that. So he was clearly getting open underneath the tight end there. Somehow those routes just worked perfectly to run right into each other. But Simmons, being the stud he is, holds onto that ball. Huge first down to Delaware into Utah State territory. Breaks the run. Now Simmons taking over this game for the Delaware offense. Showing some life now. Rashad Simmons, nice little 15-ish yard run there after the 40-yard catch on 4th down. The play before. Some life for the Blue Hens. Let's see what Utah State is going to try to cook up to answer this attack by Delaware. Another little run up the middle for Simmons. Take your 3. That is totally fine. We've now gone from 4-3, whatever the normal 4-3 is, to 6-1 to 2-3 odd. This is kind of why I like the 4-3 multiple as well, is you do have the 2-3. Which is still a really solid defense. I don't think it's as good as it was last year, but I do still think it is very good. He is sending the blitz. He's not setting it up to loop. The loop blitzes are definitely not as good as last year. That's for sure. Gets his receiver quick on the outside, and he powers through the defensive back for Utah State. That was Carroll trying to make the tackle for the Aggies, unable to bring him down. Let's see, we're going to get one more play before the 2-minute warning. Nope, let's head to break. Utah State back in their 4-3 here as we start the second quarter. 1st and 10 at the 11 for the Blue Hens. He's got the corner on the right. Attempted switch stick, just a split second too late. So he saw it coming, we saw it coming. He tried to get back there and defend it. Great effort there by Utah State, but a great touchdown drive by Delaware. They needed that one badly. Get some life into this home crowd for this big home opener. Now let's see if the defense can figure something out for this Utah State offense. Here's the split slot offset. I think he's just setting, yeah, now he's going to shakes. He really that's a good combo between A and RB. His line, oh, the user took 1 step inside, and it allows him to hit that route to Rogers. The user defense by Delaware has been on point so far in this game. It's a few times he's come very close to making a big play. Now we're back in shakes, but with a Texas route on RB instead. Nope, goes back to the streak. He's probably looking for Faison. He'll just take Roberts yet again, another gain of 10. That same play, cover 4, getting open again. We are not calling shakes again, are we? Come on. Come on. Come on. With the streak on RB yet again, block the opposite side yet again. Looks like, yep, it is different defense this time. He's got RB deep if he really wants to test his luck. He could have potentially tried chucking one up there, but Applewhite decides just to take it himself and pick up that first down. Already down to Delaware's 33. Utah State's offense is moving pretty much at ease so far here today. We do have a second game going on. We only have 2 user games here in week 0. San Diego State, our guy Prez. Texas State, Crayon Eater. Texas State also featured in the conference championship for whatever, Conference USA, that's what it is, the conference he is in. They are in the second quarter, currently 7-0, San Diego State, so I'll keep that open on the other side. Give any updates as we go along there. I'm only going to be able to show the one game though. In Utah State, audibling around, going back to the Y-cross, probably going to be looking for phase on again here. Oh, that little jam. Oh, Manning Jr. Oh, Delaware's user defense has been on point. Incredibly on point. He's on the deep half there. Tampa 2 is the perfect thing to guard that speed out. We talked about that earlier. So he has the cloud flat down there to watch that. He's on the deep half, so he has to fly back to that streak, and he did. But it was just a little overthrown by Applewhite. Overthrows both his receiver and the defensive back, so I guess you take that trade if you are Utah State. Another little dump down to Hill, finds his room, finds his way around. Hill is unbelievable. The pursuit angles are real bad. And this isn't a thing against Delaware. And Utah State's even in the Discord agreeing with me here. The pursuit angles are just terrible in this game. I don't know. I swear, I don't feel like they were as bad last year. But we didn't do an online Dynasty, so I might not fully be remembering, but I swear the pursuit angles are just the worst this year. But another touchdown to Utah State, touchdown for Hill, starting his Heisman campaign early. Now, as Delaware is trying to answer back, we did just get a touchdown for the San Diego State Aztecs. They're leading 14-0 now. 2.5 minutes to go until halftime there in San Marcos. Now here we go, Delaware. We found something good there in that last drive, making sure you're getting it to your playmaker, getting it to your halfback, and getting that ball moving. Nice little pass there to Lewis. It skipped a little on me, so I didn't exactly see what happened. But a great catch there by Lewis for the big first down. Oh, he went back to RPO, read flat wheel. That is a really good play. I never call it, but every time I see people call it, it looks great. So a little cover 2, little Tampa 2. The user flies down for the RPO again. 57. I have no idea who that is, who just caught that ball for Delaware, but gets a nice little gain of 4, a little tight end flat RPO. Utah State, Boaters user, all over these RPOs here so far. Got to be careful if you're Delaware. Come close to disaster a few times, but his defense has come very close to making some big plays too, and just haven't quite been able to get it done. Looks like a gun deuce perhaps, doesn't have the flat on the right, tries to force a deeper one to the left. What is this penalty going to be though? Holding against the Blue Hens. Not a penalty you see called super often, but it is called there. Interception. Utah State taken back over, looking to extend this 14-point lead. And essentially, you'd almost think it puts this one away. Just Utah State's offense has been pretty unstoppable here so far. Well, we say that, but I mean, Delaware's defense has had opportunities to get a turnover. They need one now more than ever to flip this momentum back their way. They've been close. They've been very, very close multiple times. Just, it hits them in the face or, just off their hands. A lot of silly things have been happening for this Delaware defense. And by the way, I didn't see exactly how this happened. Texas State has tied the game against San Diego State. It was 14-0 with 2.5 minutes to go. It is now 14-14 with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left. I'm assuming a touchdown and then a defensive touchdown for the Bobcats. How in the world did Hill just get a first down on that run? How? Somebody tell me how. But there was that run to the left we talked about in the pregame as well. A run behind that unbelievable center that Utah State has and the great left guard too. Honestly, if I'm Delaware, I don't know if I like the 3-3-5 as much against a more spread out offense like Utah State runs. Especially because in the 3-3-5, you have to have your actual linebackers on the field, but you can't have your sub linebackers, so those can't be safeties. And back to Shakes with the halfback streak. Now with Texas coming from the other side. He doesn't have the streak. User's guarding that. He's going to have a deep. Oh, Mr. Faison. Hey, 5th time's the charm to hit the deep one. The deep one to Faison. Touchdown, Utah State. But that is what makes that Shakes play so good. We covered it in a video on the main channel the other day about how to beat cover 3 match. That C route on the left is going to take any deep zone, like a cover 3 that he was in. He was in a cover, Delaware was in a cover 3 match there. Brings that deep zone down. That Shakes route doesn't get picked up by the hooks over the middle. Once they break and go to the top left, they are just kind of left wide open. He's got his return route right over the middle. Yep. Even when you're down 21 here, you can't force it. You can't push anything too hard. Take those ones. Just get on the board here again before halftime at least. Make it a 2-score game, and you still got some fight. You still got some chance because your defense has come close to making plays. But that was just a blitz coming right off the left. It didn't get picked up at all by Delaware's offensive line. 3rd and 1 for the Blue Hens. I'd be tempted to run this ball out of bunch strong offset. If you have a duo run, that's probably what I'd go to here just to try to pick up this first down. Goes to daggers, got the deep crosser. Great ball there by the quarterback. Put that one right on the money. Luke Duncan. Great ball on that crosser. If it was the crosser, I don't know if that was probably number 7, Amankwa on that. The best receiver on Delaware, him and number 44, Simmons, have been the two really showing up for the Blue Hens today. Quarterback Duncan, he's been all right. It's just tough to get much going when your offensive line can't hold up for, more than half a second most plays. It's very, very, very difficult. And it's not like Utah State's even really doing much to generate pressure. They haven't been sending a lot of blitzes. It's been a ton of 4-man rushes. We've seen 1 or 2 stunts mixed in, but not a lot. It's just things wide coming through free. I was saying wide open because we saw, again, number 44, Simmons, getting wide open, deep middle against the Tampa 2. Touchdown, Delaware. Still a minute 57 left in this half. Let's see if Utah State gets a little aggressive here. Oh, speaking of getting aggressive, they just murdered the kicker. Maybe we get a mistake. Maybe Delaware can take advantage. Maybe they can get on the board again here before half. Utah State going to some empty now. We saw this in his CPU games. I haven't seen him do this a ton against users. We know against the CPU, he loves the verticals Shakes play. We'll see if that is what he is going to be in here. It is indeed. That little shake route on A. I was never a huge fan of the shake routes until I saw how well they worked for Boater. There goes the shake. Goes for the deep crosser on X. He's got him. Down to the 40, already 270 yards for Tanner Applewhite. Just having his day, having his way, with this Delaware defense so far. Going back to the speed out combo over on the left, doesn't have it. Looking for the crosser, doesn't have it. And there is the Delaware defense royal. We can never be royals. How does the rest of that song go? Oh, it don't run in our blood. This kind of love just ain't for us. Or this kind of life just ain't for us. We need a different kind of love. We can never be royals. Touchdown. Delaware. 1-score game. 94 seconds. Is that time? Is there enough time for another Utah State mistake? I don't know. I'm unbiased. We're just throwing out possibilities here. Now we got a 1-score game. Let's see, going back to empty chips. He did come out in that flood play he had been doing a bit. And honestly, I like audibling out of it because it hasn't really been working great. Just go right back underneath, go right back to Faison. Get it to your guys, get them going. I mean, Faison had, 5 catches in the first 4 minutes? And I feel like we haven't really seen him do much since then. But that's your guy. You got to make sure he is getting the rock here. Now going back to vertical shake. Is he stemming? So he stems up A. I think that's what he's trying to do here. But it's the stadium pulse of Delaware, that home crowd advantage of the Blue Hens. Stay up on X. Got to stay up on X. Good. Good user defense again by Delaware. Knew exactly where he had to go, took kind of one step down. I don't know, maybe he was even trying to bait Utah State Applewhite into making that throw, but then got right back up, guarded that deep crosser. Really good user defense again. We've seen a lot of good user defense out of Delaware. We got to watch that left side.
Oh, Applewhite almost sells him there, almost throws a fastball too far in front of Faison, but he lays out, he goes and makes that catch. Loving those quick seam throws to Faison here. See if you can keep doing that. And I think you got to get out of the 3-3-5 against these formations if you're Delaware too. You're just not getting you're just not having the speed on the field that you need to be able to cover all the space that you need to go. Because we don't have very fast linebackers here for Delaware. They're not getting out to those flats very quickly, which is kind of what we need here. But if he is calling cover 3 drop, it doesn't matter as much, because then every linebacker is just in a hook zone over the middle of the field, and your flats are actually your safeties or corners, whoever you put in that spot. So a play like that, 3-3-5, I think is fine, as long as we're sending one of them as a blitzer. And here comes Hill right up the gut. God, that guy is a tank, man. He is an absolute tank. So less than 40 seconds to go now. Time taken down. Still 2 timeouts for Utah State, though. Time is not a concern. Going with the scissors, stemming up the deep post. He's gonna have it. Or is he? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. It looked a little tight with that safety flying back over, but of who else? Who else but Faison is going to just go up and grab that one? Touchdown, Utah State. Is that 400 pass yards now for the Aggies? And a lot for Delaware, too. What a way to start the season. These 6-minute quarters, man. There's something. Now, how aggressive do you want to be here if you're Delaware? 26 seconds, still all 3 timeouts. I think you push it here. I think you got to push it here a little bit. Try to get on the board again before half. I don't remember who started with the ball. This game feels like it started forever ago. This game's been going on a long time. It's not even just the 6-minute quarters. It's just with how high scoring and clock constantly stopping. So we're going back to the Texas 4-man stunt here in a cover 3. Never mind, we're seeing a timeout by Delaware. Coming out in bunch strong wide. We're getting the same defense here from Utah State. Same stunts. Keeping match? Yes, because the purples are seam flats, which means it is a match coverage. They pick up the stunts well. He potentially had his halfback. Let's see if he's going to box him out and catch that. Just no effort by this Delaware team. And this is nothing against their coach, Caleb. It's just, it seems like they're getting in positions to try to make plays, and then they just watch that ball sail. Number 81 there is tight end. Just got Bradell. Got in a decent spot, and then just watched the ball go right over his head. At least it fell incomplete, but still, it's got to be frustrating for Delaware, as he is actually voicing in the Discord right now. Understandable. And it's a few plays now on defense and on offense. We feel like his guys have just not really been trying. And here comes the stunt. Eventually it gets in. Utah State takes a timeout there. They're thinking, well, maybe we can get a few more points on the board here. Only 14 seconds though. 1 timeout. It will be tough unless Delaware goes for it. Assuming they don't get this. Here comes the stunt again. Just take your check down underneath. Yep, that's fine. You probably didn't need to go out of bounds there. At that point, I think you just go down inbounds and either make him use his last timeout or take it to half. But I don't know. It's easy for me to say not being the one sitting there and playing. If I was sitting there and playing and seeing some of the mistakes my guys were making on this field, I understand this attack by Delaware for sure. You got to roll out a little bit. Oh, find Simmons. It's Simmons? And what's that receiver's name? I got it written down over here. Amankwa. Those have been the 2 by far standouts for Delaware. Remember, they are in the American Conference. We will be seeing them in the future. Number 44, the running back Simmons, receiver number 7. Those are the only 2 showing effort for this Blue Hens team here today. Going with the cover 4. Did we keep match this time? I couldn't tell. Curl flats, nope, not match. Shaded over the top. He's probably going to be looking for Simmons deep here yet again. 4-man rush. He's got time. He's got Simmons, but he doesn't have any more time. He had time to throw. Doesn't have any time in the half. Take it to halftime. 35-21 shootout going on here. And it will be Delaware ball coming out of half. In our other game, we got San Diego State, 3rd and goal at the 1, trying to go up by 14. They're up 21-14 as of right now. 2.5 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter in that one. Handoff, touchdown, Aztecs. They will go up 14 against San Diego State. A little Mabel going on over on the left there by Utah State. Doesn't matter. Just give it to your guy Simmons, man. Oh, and he broke that too. I thought that was a house call. That first tackle, the first guy that got hands on him was not bringing him down. It's that number 10 that came in to help out. is what saved that from being a touchdown. Carroll of Utah State came down there. Or else that was going. Yeah, see it. Kind of coming back to what we were looking at when we looked over these depth charts. Just not having, I think he was, what, a 71 speed quarterback? That's going to make those kind of things tough. And that's a big part of that Notre Dame playbook, is being able to run with your quarterback. So having one be that slow can be really difficult. Right flat, right flat, right flat. Oh, waits and finds Simmons yet again, and he bounces off again. Oh, dude, Simmons is unbelievable. This Simmons guy for Delaware. Now, here's a guy who just gets open, man. He just knows where to go, and he is just going to get open and give me that dang rock. That's my Chris Collinsworth impression. It's pretty good. Yes, Simmons has been unreal for Delaware today. 5 rushes for 40 yards. He's got to be at or around 100 yards receiving on the day. Been an absolute stud. Been the lightning rod the Blue Hens have needed here on the offensive side of the ball. Now let's see. Here comes another little blitz. A blitz from Utah State. Looks like, was this DB Fire? Sending 5's got the middle. Just give it to Simmons. Oh my gosh, Simmons. Oh my gosh, go down. Oh my god. I think that was 4? Was that 4 hit sticks? 1, 2. Oh, it cut away. Well, we know it was at least 2. I'm pretty sure that was 4. He just ate straight to the face. So thank you, sir. May I have another? He is coming back for seconds. Gets the first down. I'm telling you. This guy is unreal. We saw early in this game that Simmons was the guy for this squad, and he has not disappointed. Now he's going for the backup halfback. Little dicey one there off the hands of Utah State. But the way this has been going, yeah, just keep going to your halfback. The problem is it's not Simmons, but still. I actually don't even have his backup halfback's name written down, so if we happen to see what it is, great. If not, well, sorry. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm not super prepared. That's the way it goes. I can't write everybody's name down. That'd be insane. So let's see what Delaware's looking for. Going for his halfback again. It finds the halfback. What's his name? Show me his name, please. Please. Number 28, St. Fleur. St. Fleur. Gets out of the backfield, gets over the little cloud flat on the right. He might have been shaded down, might have been a hard flat, whatever it was. The light blue zone on the right, gets past him, finds him in the end zone. Touchdown Delaware. We got a game here, 35-28. These boys are cooking. Split slot offset. Oh, going back to shakes. Going back to shakes. I was wondering if this was going to be the double pass time. It's got to be coming at some point. But that's the trick of it. You don't know when it's coming, because he does have other plays he'll call. Well, he has at least one other play he'll call out of here, and it shakes. Because he's got the single high. It looks like cover 3 again. He's got him again. Yeah, we got to switch up there. We got to do something up there, man. Another problem with that 3-3-5, you can't change the shell. And they don't have cover 4. I think they have some weird inverted cover 2, but it's pretty much always single high, and a play like shakes is just going to work all the time. So you can't really blame Utah State for calling it multiple times, because that's kind of what the defense is showing him here. He's going back to the swing out to the right. We're still... Oh, rode him like a pony there for a second. Number 51 did. Brings him down from behind. 2nd and 1. Hill and Faison for Utah State. And it's really just been Simmons for Delaware, but also Amankwa has been really, really good too. The boys have been cooking. Both these offenses have been showing out here. Going to the RPO to the left. Ooh, tries to get out there with Manning. One of the fastest guys on Delaware's entire defense tried to get out there and cover that. Just a step too slow. Utah State able to cut it up. Let's see what we're going to here. Another one of those slide RPOs wouldn't have been too bad. Going with a different RPO. All right. It did. I mean, the user was crashing down past that, it looked like. But he was actually able to stop and turn in time to be able to knock that one away. Another pretty... I mean, the user defense of Delaware has been very impressive. It's just the rest of the squad. The CPU-controlled defense of Delaware has been real bad. And then we are just going with a run up the middle. Oh, look at that big boy. Was that the grip breaker? That D-tackle on Delaware? Yeah, between the defensive line and, like, just the dropped picks, the secondary just... This Delaware roster isn't the best, but that's kind of what we expect with these teams anyway. Going to the pitch outside, I was going to say I'd be shocked if any of them catch Hill, but they actually do and bring him down at the 1 yard line. I mean, you got to go for it here, right? I think you got it. I would guess this is going to be the read RPO slide with a halfback going out to slide to the left. That would be my guess. It is indeed. Let's see. He is following it. He is following it. The user play. I'm telling you. I am telling you. Say what you will about Delaware's defense, right? The CPU guys might not be that fast. They might not be that big. They might not be that strong. The user defense that Delaware's got has been incredibly impressive today. Guy's just always been in the right, almost always been in the exact right spot. Fantastic stuff. Let's see now if Delaware can get a drive going. He's going to throw. Yeah, there's that RPO read flat wheel, man. That is a killer play. It is such a good play. I thought he was actually even breaking that out for a potential touchdown there. So we know neither team really has speed in the secondary. Utah State's got crazy speed on the offensive side of things. I'm back in wing slot offset. I'm getting tagged in. Oh. Conservative and guessing pass does nothing against RPO still, is the report from Utah State. That's not a surprise. Unfortunately. We knew it didn't do anything before the patch. Then they had the patch, said, oh, hey, we actually kind of fixed this now. It'll guard vertical threats better. Seems to not be the case from what we have been seeing here. But anyway, Delaware, 2nd and 9. Good job getting out of the shadow of their own end zone here. Going, yep. Is Simmons like just super gassed? Or is he just hurt or out of the game? Because we did drop our injuries down to 10. I think I mentioned that in the beginning. To try to not get as many desyncs as we have had in the past. So we might just be like super gassed, and this is kind of their way of going about it. But St. LaFleur, was that the guy from Dodgeball? Yeah, right. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood, LaFleur. Nobody. Also the coach of the Packers, LaFleur. But I always think of Dodgeball first. A big sack there. Pushes Delaware back for a 2nd and 20. But I mean, they've shown the ability to get some big plays here. So it wouldn't shock me to see another big chunk play here. Going back to the Texas 4-man, cover 4. Looked like we were shaded underneath, but with zone drops on, he's going to be giving up underneath. He had his tight end going deep. His user was kind of with that, but he was a step behind it. So that was a good ball by Luke Duncan. He could have fit that over the top. But that could have been asking a lot. Duncan's not bad, though. Neither of these quarterbacks, I mean, they're solid. My only gripe with Duncan is he's slow. Big old slow boy. It's like Joe Flacco is back at Delaware, essentially. 6'6", can't really move. Do you just take the underneath? Nope, he's going to test the user. Off the hands of the user, almost into the hands of Amonkwa, which would have been something. But the pass innocently falls to the ground and incomplete. And we are going for it here on 4th and 20 out of tight open. What's the one play out of tight open I like? Is it like slot drive? That is what this is. I do like that play a lot. Yeah, just 4th and 20 is going to be very difficult. Pretty much no matter what you're calling. Always going to be tough. Especially when your offensive line just kind of lets the defense run right on by. Really is going to make it difficult. So we're going all go. Probably seam streak here to phase on. There's nobody out there on him. Or to Y. Yeah. There's nobody out there. Just that formation against that defensive set is just leaving nobody out there. So we need either... We can't be in Tampa 2 against that. If we're going to be in that formation, we need one of the... you need that the linebacker on our left side to be in a flat. Is kind of what you need. If you want to be in that formation against their offensive formation. Like a hard flat. Then you kind of have to go watch. That's just not a good formation for Y-off trips. Or whatever it was Utah State was in. It's just spreading you a little too thin. But touchdown Utah State, 14-point lead. 26 seconds left here in the 3rd. Some bunch strong wide now for Delaware. Some dime normal for Utah State. No stunts this time. I think we mentioned this in the introduction. Knowing you're going against such a slow quarterback, you could stunt every single play. Because the main disadvantage of stunting, I mean, he's got the flat underneath if he just wants to take it. He doesn't. He's looking big. He's going big or going home. Got to respect it. The big negative to stunting is mobile quarterbacks. It's very easy for them to just get out and run every single time. But when you're going against a quarterback like Delaware has, we don't have to worry about that at all. So you could stunt every single play if you wanted to. Going for the screen, actually fake, going to his tight end. Brettel takes that going to the right. A nice little chunk. I mean, Delaware is not out of this game. You're down by 14. You've gotten a stop on defense. You've gotten close to other stops on defense. This game is not over as we head to the fourth quarter. Oops, missed a play there. I was responding to somebody talking about the Halloween movies. Excuse me, everybody. Not a professional commentator here. 2nd and 10, though. So we didn't really miss much. Dynamic lighting kicking in, the shadows creeping over the field here in Delaware. It's truly a beautiful sight. Kind of had the out route. It's got the guy. Okay, just... This is what kind of we've been saying about this Delaware team. You can't tell me that was an uncatchable ball. Get your hands up there. That was Lewis. Get your hands up, buddy. You can at least make an effort on a ball like that. That's all we're looking for if we're Delaware right now. Yeah, if we can come back and make this a game, that, of course, it was dropped. That was a great read. That was a great throw. Timed it perfectly when he was getting past the zones, wide open. This is what we've been saying about this Delaware team all day. It's nothing against Caleb. It's nothing against the coach. It's nothing against anybody controlling anything to do with Delaware. It's just the effort of these CPU boys has been brutal. Not getting your hands up for catches, letting things like that go, getting on defense. Guy got hit right in the face by a ball. He's not able to intercept it. It's the little things like that that really add up, especially in a situation like this for the Blue Hens. As they turn it over on downs, another rusher coming in free. That quarterback's taking a bit of a licking here today, making it 42, keeping it 42-28. Utah State taking over, going back to the underneath. Probably going to have Faison again. If you're in a zone coverage here and shade underneath, it would put your hooks on 5. That would kind of help guard those. But Faison has just been there on that route every single time. 11 for 227 for Faison. Hit him deep twice on that shakes route. Finding him underneath, finding him just all over the field in the seams, like it seems like he might be going for again here. I mean, no, it just has my little comeback. Had A, goes for X over the top. Just too fast, too furious. He's too fast for y'all, man. Touchdown Thompson Jr., touchdown Utah State. That should just about do it here. And speaking of just about doing it, it looks like Texas State is up 35-28, under 2 minutes to go. Still 2 timeouts for the Aztecs, but we got another good game going on over there. Like I said, these are only 2 user games we have here for week 0 in this 32-team league. It's just how it shakes out, week 0, you know. There's just not a lot of games going on. We don't have a game in week 0. We start next week against the NIU Huskies. And also, weird thing, this is nothing, I'm not really talking about the game as much right now. But weird thing for this season. So in year 1, we had 15 weeks. In week 15 was Army-Navy week. That was a nice throw. I still don't know who 57 is. That's a weird tight end number. That might be like a tackle in there or something. But we had 15 weeks. And week 15 was Army-Navy. Everybody had 3 bye weeks. This year we have 14 weeks. Week 14 is Army-Navy. Everybody only has 2 bye weeks. So I'm not entirely sure how that happened. I don't mind it, but it was just very confusing. Texas State is kneeing it out. They will get the early season victory, start 1-0 here in week 0. Congratulations to the Crayon Eater and the Bobcats of Texas State. We'll have to kind of watch that back potentially and see what happened there. Delaware. What happened to that? Is the halfback injured? Because that was LaFleur again. I know that's not actually his name. But yeah, that was LaFleur in there yet again. Instead of our guy, Simmons, who's been a rock star today. But St. Fleur's been doing a perfectly fine job here as well. The little cover, that cover 2, manned up the tight end. Had, again, this pass rush, man. That is the guy we pointed out, though, when we looked over Utah State's defense. That was his, 4th sack today. At speed, coming off the edge. is just killer. If we don't have very good offensive lines, which none of us really do, he was winning on that again. And there goes LaFleur again. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a Utah State Aggie breaking another tackle, getting another gain of 10 or something like that. 3rd and 10 now. Again, manning up the slot. I like that. Yep, not going to have... Oh, I never see those. Ever, never see those. I see it's an RPO, my eyes only go to the bubble. That's the only place I was looking. Then I saw him winding up to throw. I was like, oh, he's not going to have that. That was going to be picked off. Oh, nope, he's got the tight end going behind him. Some of that shocking stuff. Shocking. Well, and a loss of 2 on that run. 2nd and goal now, 4-yard line. Let's see if Delaware can at least... It's really these games, I mean, even if you're not going to win, as long as you can pick up some stats, get some good XP for your guys, that's going to help you in the future. So we'll see if Delaware has anybody in mind they want to force this ball to. Maybe LaFleur? I mean, you're not going to run. Well, then he hits that throw. That's the thing about this game that I really don't understand. Like, that quarterback missed a few pretty easy throws. Then on the run, he's 6'6", a laser to the back of the end zone, touchdown Delaware. Really, I mean, if you are Delaware, and again, this is gonna be something that's easy for me to say because I'm not the one actually playing the game. I don't think you could be super upset with how you yourself played this game. You could 100% be upset. Dude, these halfbacks, these guys on Delaware are unbelievable. The halfbacks of Delaware are the only ones putting any effort into this game. Everyone else, I feel like you can be upset with if you're the coach of Delaware. Because he himself has put his guys in good position. His user defense has been really good. His offense has been moving the ball really well. It's just he needs some effort from his boys. That's what he needs. Now, Utah State probably just going to be working on some clock here, calling an RPO. He can throw it, actually, and he will get some more yardage for Faison. Why the heck not? Just keep adding it up. I mean, he's got to be at like 300. He's at 484 passing for the day. I feel like if you're going against Utah State, you probably do need to hard flat and then be cognizant with your user to watch any sort of like floods and watch those deeper sideline kind of routes. Just there's so many swings, RPOs, things you got to watch like at or behind the line of scrimmage that it's tough if you're just playing strictly like drop zone or match kind of defenses. They're going to have a hard time with that. Looks like we're going back to all go out of trips here. He's got the guy lined up over Faison, which is great, but let's see where that guy goes. Is he just giving up the seam to Faison again? He is. User tries to get back there. Just too slow. Just too slow, unfortunately. I think he had the right idea. 100% had the right idea. Again, good user defense on that. Just doesn't have the guys to be able to pull it off. Utah State's just going to be working on clock here at this point as we hit the 2-minute warning. Almost had the snap go over his head. I don't know if that's a thing that can actually happen, but at least looked like it was close. And that 8-yard, gosh, both these. I was going to say, talk about how much of a tank the Utah State halfback has been, but the Delaware halfbacks have been unbelievable all day long. Like, those guys have been the star of the show. Or is that just a halfback draw thing? Because he just did it again. He just did it again. Are we just kneeing it out now? Looks like it. 49-36 is going to be our final score here today. A fun opening game, though. Good week 0 performance. Like I said, Caleb, our Delaware coach, I really liked what we saw out of him today. That Notre Dame offense, the only thing I think kind of holding him back a little bit is how slow his quarterback is. But a lot of the plays he was running, a lot of the concepts he was running, I like a lot. And his user defense was phenomenal. It's just he just doesn't have the speed, in my opinion, to be sitting in 3-3-5 against a spread out offense like Utah State. He can't have your 80, 78 speed linebackers out there trying to guard these 90 plus speed receivers and halfbacks, especially when they're going sideline to sideline like they have been. So that will do it for our week 0 game. Congratulations to Boulder. Congratulations to Crayon Eater. Utah State and Texas State starting the season off 1-0. I will see you guys. Actually, here, let me pop my face up just for a second. I'll be down here. Hello. I actually have my glasses on. because I was looking at screens all day today. Yeah, that'll do it for our week 0 game of the week. We will be back week 1. We have a CPU game with Old Dominion against Northern Illinois against the Huskies, and we will have another game of the week for you guys here shortly. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This is something new we're trying out this year, so let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys then. Until then, take it easy.